Welcome back to Intelligent Faith. If you are watching this video on our YouTube channel, we encourage you guys to go check out our website at intelligentfaith315.com. If you are watching this video on our website, please check out our YouTube channel at youtube.com/intelligentfaith315. Also, if you guys have any questions, please email your questions to intelligentfaith315@gmail.com. Today, we're going to look at the laws of logic. Now, what exactly are the laws of logic? And we're just going to look at 4 in this video for today. The first one that we're going to look at is the law of non-contradiction. Now, what exactly is the law of non-contradiction? Well, we'll get into that details a little bit later. The second one we're going to look at is the law of excluded middle. The third one, the law of bivalence. And the last one, the law of identity. Now, let's start with the law of non-contradiction. Now, this law of non-contradiction is basically known as the mothership of the laws of logic. We use this law every single day of our lives. We use it without even knowing that we are using the law of non-contradiction. Now, you may ask, what is the law of non-contradiction? Well, it was first codified by Aristotle, our Greek friend. Basically, what it says, it states that nothing can possess incompatible properties. That is, nothing can be what it is not. Now, let me give you guys a few examples. Example number 1 is Jesus cannot be both sinless and sinful. Also, an example number 2 is if there is one God, there cannot be many gods. Now, you may ask, why is this important that we need to know what is the law of non-contradiction? Well, you can use the law of non-contradiction to basically evaluate different types of worldviews. Now, I'm sure you guys are familiar with the coexist movement. Basically, what the coexist movement says is that every religion is just one path to get to God. Now, if that is true, then it actually breaks this law of non-contradiction, because the law of non-contradiction says nothing can possess incompatible properties. That is, nothing can be what is not. Basically, it states that if Jesus said he is the only way to go to heaven, it is only Christianity that can be true. Islam cannot be true because Islam states something completely different. And also atheism actually says there is no God. So Christianity, Islam, atheism, all of them comes to a different conclusion. So they all cannot be true. So they break the law of non-contradiction if you say they all are true and there's a different way to get to heaven. Now, the law of non-contradiction, it tells us that a statement cannot be both true and false at the same time. Now, the principle is not unique to Christianity. It is true for all of creation. It's not just we Christians that use the statement. We use it. Everybody used the statement every single day of their lives. Now, also, we as Christians, we do not transcend this or any of the law of logic. And that is a very important test to evaluate a worldview to see if it's true or if it's false. And that's one positive side of Christianity, is we don't break any law of logic. It goes hand in hand with our worldview, with our belief in Christ. Now, if I give you guys the following statement, the law of non-contradiction is false. Is that a true statement or is that a false statement? Well, of course, it's a false statement because the law of non-contradiction is true. If it was false, it violates what it stands for. Another example of a statement just like the one we heard, another example I can give you guys is the statement that there is no absolute truth. Well, for that statement to be true, there need to be at least one absolute truth. And if there's at least one, then the statement is false. So that whole statement basically dissolves by its own stand. Now, if we carry on, modern physics actually says that they have disproven the law of non-contradiction because light behaves like a wave and a particle. But of course, this statement has also been proven wrong. It is particles that act in a wave-like manner. So no, they have not disproven the law of non-contradiction. Now, the law of excluded middle, it means that a statement is either true or false. Now, think of it as claiming that there is no middle ground between being true and being false. For example, in a war in the old times, there was something called no man's land, where one country is on one side and the other country is on the other side, and in between was no man's land. That's almost the same as the law of excluded middle. There is no middle. It belongs to nobody. Now, every statement has to be one or the other. It has to be this one or that one. That's why it's called the law of excluded middle, because it excludes a middle ground between truth and falsity. So while the law of non-contradiction tells us that no statement can be both true and false, the law of excluded middle tells us that they must all be one or the other. Let me give you guys some examples. It's either Jehovah is Lord or he is not Lord. Either Buddha was enlightened or he was not enlightened. Both cannot be true. Jehovah cannot be Lord and not be Lord at the same time. Buddha can also not be enlightened and not be enlightened at the same time. Now, if we read in Matthew 6:24, I'm going to read from the New King James Version. It says, "No one can serve two masters, for either he will hate the one and love the other, or else he will be loyal to the one and despise the other. You cannot serve God and mammon." There we see it's really clear as well. It's either one or the other. You cannot have both. Now, the law of bivalence. Any ambiguous declarative statement is either true or false, not either true nor false, and not both true and false. The statement Muhammad is the seal of the prophets is either true or false. Another statement Jesus was God in the flesh is either true or false. Moreover, both of these statements cannot be true because of the law or principle of non-contradiction. That's another way you can say it, is the principle of non-contradiction or the law of non-contradiction. As we see the law of non-contradiction, it always comes back. That's why I started out with it, because that is the first one, one of the most important ones that we have to look at. Now, the law of identity. This is a really easy one. It basically just states that something is what it is. Something cannot be what it is not. Now, I am a human being. I cannot not be a human being. Now, you guys might ask, why is this important? Why do we need to know the laws of logic? Well, as I mentioned before, the laws of logic is a really simple, easy way to start off your journey to evaluate worldviews. In the future, I will produce more videos explaining to you guys how we can evaluate worldviews. How do we know which of the 7 worldviews are the true one? Is it one we believe in, Christianity, or is it atheism? Now, everybody in this world do have a worldview. Now, how do we know the one we believe in is a true one? So please stay tuned, and we will go through step by step. We will look at 8 ways to evaluate if a worldview is true or false. And I encourage you guys, please look at the evidence, look at it objectively, follow it where it leads, and hopefully it will lead you to believe in Jesus Christ of the Bible, and you will see that Christianity is the only true worldview that is out there. And thank you guys for joining us for this video. Again, if you are watching this video on our YouTube channel, please, I encourage you guys, go to our website, intelligentfaith315.com, or vice versa. If you're watching it on our website, please check out our YouTube channel. It's youtube.com/intelligentfaith315. We have hundreds of articles and videos can help you with the journey discovering the truth. If you have any questions or any doubts, please email us intelligentfaith315@gmail.com.